Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, today we're going to be going over the staff behind Boruto episode 223. It's going to be Inojin versus Houki, essentially Kakashi's fake son. We're going to go over the staff, see exactly how this episode is actually supposed to look. I'm not going to lie, when it first came out, because if you guys don't necessarily know, I get all of these from Anime Blue. Anime Blue tweets out the staff behind all of the episodes, so we can kind of find out beforehand how well the anime is actually supposed to look. Anime Blue has been doing this for years now, pretty much been spanning back from Naruto Shippuden. This came out I think like a month ago. Let me see the actual date. Yeah, October 5th. Right now is November 1st. So this came out like a month ago. I took a look at this episode and I automatically understood that this episode right here is going to look really, really good. So let me dive into it real quick. All right, so the director is going to be Yoshifumi Sasahari. This right here is going to be interesting. I don't think that Sasahari ever did a Boruto episode before. Sasahari is actually the director behind this. Now, specifically, I don't actually know what it is. Let's see if Anime Blue is actually in the oh, here it goes. I'm guessing Sasahari was the assistant director of Akudama Drive, and Anime Blue says yes, so I guess that's where the person is actually from. Again, specifically, I don't know what this is. I don't know what Akudama Drive is, if it's good or not. Hopefully it's going to be good, but again, that right there is going to be the actual director. Oh, by the way, I always forget this. I don't know why I forget this. Well, I never really forget this. This is my first time forgetting this, but the first thing that you'll always have to look at has to be the studio. The studio is going to tell you how good the episode is going to look. Studio Period is the second one that's listed right here. That right there is interesting because if you guys don't necessarily know, Studio Period is the big blood. They're essentially behind all the big episodes. They're behind Momoshiki versus Naruto and Sasuke. They're behind Ishiki Otsutsuki versus Naruto and Sasuke. They're behind Barahimbo and Naruto. They're behind literally almost every big episode that we have actually seen. Jiwoo though, Jiwoo is very interesting, man, because Jiwoo was actually behind Boruto episode 216. Now again, this right here was also Naruto and Sasuke versus Ishiki Otsutsuki. This right here was also done alongside Studio Period as well. So Studio Period and Jiwoo worked on this specific fight right here, and they are going to be working on Boruto episode 223. So this right here is more or less like what we should kind of be expecting. But again, I do want to point this out. It's not going to be nearly as good as this episode, obviously, because we have Naruto and Sasuke fighting in episode 223. We're going to have Inojin and Houki fighting. So of course, it's going to be nowhere next to this in regards to actual hype, actual, you feel me, fluidity. Just understand it's not necessarily going to be to this level, but those are going to be the studios behind the episode. So in regards to studio, this episode right here should look absolutely amazing. There shouldn't necessarily be any problems, but again, when things like this look this good, we have to take it with a grain of salt, man, because in a few weeks there might be a bigger episode that they're kind of focusing on. That right there is just a possibility, but from what we're looking at, the studios, it's looking really, really good. Now let's get to the animation directors. Park Ma-young-hoon. This right here is good. This right here is absolutely excellent, man, because Park also did episode 216. Again, Naruto and Sasuke versus Ishiki Otsutsuki. I'm telling you guys right now, if this episode looks slightly like this, if it's as fluid as this, I'm going to be absolutely amazed. I will absolutely love it. By the way, I'm sorry I'm showing Ishiki Otsutsuki completely destroying Naruto and Sasuke, but I just want to do this just to show you guys exactly how it could possibly look. But again, they're going to be behind this. 3 people from this specific episode staff are going to be on the next episode. That looks really good. I'm not going to lie. That looks really good. I do not want to call an episode about Inojin versus Houki a dream team, the staff behind it a dream team. I'm not going to lie, but it's shaping up to definitely be a dream team. I might just call it an elite team, mainly because I don't necessarily know who the director is, but it really looks like a dream team. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This right here looks really, really good. But again, it's Houki and Inojin. Like, how good can it really be? You feel me? All right, so the next animation director is going to be Chiyuki Tanaka. Chiyuki Tanaka is also a heavy hitter as well. Chiyuki Tanaka was in Boruto episode 206. Yeah, this right here was really good. This right here was actually a good episode. If you guys don't necessarily recall, this is essentially when Team 7 was going up, or the new Team 7 without Konohamaru, which is a boost in itself, but also adding in Kawaki. They were going up against Boro and outside of the Kata organization. This right here looked absolutely amazing. amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Specifically in regards to the actual, animation, it wasn't necessarily, obviously it wasn't necessarily on the level of, like, let's say Naruto and Sasuke versus Ishiki Otsutsuki, or Barrymore Naruto versus Ishiki Otsutsuki, but this right here was really, really good, and of course an important battle. I think one of the most important things that we could kind of take away from something like this, especially if he's going to be animating another important battle, which Inojin versus Houki is not, you want to see a track record of a staff member being behind important episodes. Episode 206 is definitely an important episode, so I'm super glad that he's on this specific episode. Again, it's shaping up to be a dream team, which is extremely confusing because it's going to be Inojin versus Houki. Don't get me wrong, I'm not necessarily saying that that fight isn't necessarily going to be anything too special. I'm just saying that, in regards to what I think this staff should be behind, this staff should be behind like an Otsutsuki fight or something like that. We got them on Houki versus Inojin. Now it might be a certain situation where they're going to be taking every single battle of this actual tuning exam this serious. Do I think so? Probably not. I don't think they have the manpower for that, but just for this battle right here, I don't know. This right here is looking good. Now the next one is going to be Ayaku Saito. Saito was another big hitter. Why are we having a bunch of big hitters on this episode? Saito, just like Tanaka, was also on Boruto episode 206. I'm guessing this right here may actually just be a pretty fight. Like Houki versus Inojin might just look absolutely amazing. Bro, are we about to see one of the best fights in Boruto and we just don't know it yet? All right, now the script, partner, ain't no way they got Masahiro Okubo. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, this objectively is a dream team. Objectively is a dream team. But I ain't gonna lie, if we knew the director, by the way, let me go back. If we knew the director and Jiwoo wasn't on this staff and it was just Studio Parrot, by the way, shout out to Jiwoo. Jiwoo is not a bad studio, but I'm just saying, if those two things were different, this would legitimately be a God Squad. This would legitimately be a God Squad. By the way, so I gotta basically talk about Masahiro Okubo. Masahiro Okubo was actually behind Boruto episode 204. If you guys don't necessarily know what Boruto episode 204 was, this right here is Naruto and Sasuke versus Jigen. Why are they having elite staff members behind an Inojin versus Houki episode? I have absolutely no idea. Again, it might be a certain situation where they're just put this right here is like a throwaway episode, and of course they're just up next in a cycle, and because of that they're not necessarily going to focus much on this episode because they're going to focus on another episode later on down the line. This right here was very prevalent in the I believe Boruto episode 214 or Boruto episode 211, something like that. I think it was Kashin Koji versus Kashin Koji versus Ishiki Otsutsuki. Everything pointed to that episode looking really, really good, but it looked absolutely terrible because a lot of the animation directors and the staff period, they were focused on Boruto episode 216, 217, and 218. So that right there might be the case, but objectively, I don't want to call this a dream team, by the way. I don't, because it's the Inojin versus Houki, but this is a dream team. Like, look, bro, this right here is arguably the second or third greatest fight in the whole series, and it got my man's on Inojin versus Houki. Now, I don't want this to sound like I'm hating on Inojin and Houki, but let's keep it 1,000. This staff should be animated for like Boruto versus if this staff was on a Boruto versus Kawaki fight 3 years down the line, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. What is this staff doing on Inojin versus Houki? I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. What do you guys think about this staff being behind this fight? Now I'm excited for the episode. I was a little bit intrigued by the fight. Now it's like, now I gotta see this. Like, is it really gonna look this good? Like, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. But it's been your boy Barrett B, and we out.
It's a knife.